TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop, come on, baby, higher. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the day for the closing bell. Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Next Tuesday, this time, October 1st. Bring in the pumpkin spice lattes, the trick-or-treat, and then once we turn the calendar to November 1st, in comes Mariah Carey for 2 months and Thanksgiving and all those beautiful holidays that are coming. Shout out to Mr. Daniel Berry at Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the trust and support. To our proud sponsor and partnerships, WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, please head on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. And then just tell them myself, Zach, Travis, the rest of this team family will take good care of you, I promise. Viva Tequila Seltzer. Shout out to CT Bets, the rest of that team and family. The East Coast is cuckoo for coconut. Their new flavor of the tequila seltzer. Try one. Tell them East Coast Sports Investors sent you. And if you were on today around 11:05, after Bill Crack and his 10:30 a.m. kickoff to the week here, Terry Smith at Atlanta Steaks and Seafood was on to talk some Atlanta Falcons. Tough loss last night to the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Head on over to Facebook. Follow Terry Smith there and Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. I got my care package on Thursday. He shipped it on Tuesday, 2 days from Atlanta to Cape Cod. So he controls that whole eastern seaboard. I think out as far as where Riley is in the Chicago area. So trust me, it's solid as a rock when it got here. The dry ice was still talking to me. So go follow Terry Smith. They got a great coupon. 15% off orders over $199. Terry's the best in the business. The best product, hands down, but even a better customer service. So tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Take advantage of that 15% off. So without further ado, the co-star, the co-host of this show, Mr. Riley Magnuson. What is up, champ?
What is up, my friend? Happy Monday, re-entry Monday, recap Monday, as we like to call it over here, my friend. living large, feeling good over here in my neck of the woods, my man. Fun weekend of football. So ready to dive in. I love these Monday shows of doing a little recapping, and obviously got a little baseball going on tonight, and a couple of still halfway decent, if not solid NFL games tonight to talk about. So I'm ready to roll, my friend.
Well, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy to say I told you so. I'm not that guy that sits here and poo-poos on anything. Because everyone has, we can lead you to water, but we can't make you drink. I've been in these lanes publicly for 10 years now, and I've preached it since day one, January 1st, 2015. Sundays, quicksand Sundays. We came up with quicksand Sundays. That's the NFL. That is college basketball. Whatever's on Sundays, MLB, crazy things happen. And it just so happens that the NFL Sundays is where billion-dollar casinos and resorts are built. Spin, rinse, repeat, week 1. Spin, rinse, repeat, week 2. Spin, rinse, repeat, week 3. There were over 14,000 entrants in the Circa Survivor. There were 1,635. And if the Bengals lose, I think there'll be 835. So, guys, I know, I just don't get it. When you are kicked in the teeth day after day, week after week, and you just get up on Monday and you dust it off, and this Monday you're happier than a pig in doo-doo. Why? There's 2 games. So there's 2 games to beat you. Talk about, hey, first of all, congrats. You knew it. Your coaching staff knew it. The GM knew it. You got Malik for pennies on the dollar. Congrats.
I've got a double victory Monday. I don't mean to dance on your grave as far as the other aspect of our show here, but a little Illinois football over Nebraska in overtime on Friday night, my friend.
Now, you know me. We've been doing shows forever, okay? When Nebraska, as a favorite, in a big-time spot, they haven't won since the 90s. And we talked about it. You knew. I was like, Nebraska 7? I mean, I was wishing for them. I was pulling for them. They weren't going to cover that game. Never mind win that game. Riley, when's the last time they won a game like that?
I don't know. As far as winning a game, I don't know how long it's been. I was, like I said, I wasn't sold on Illinois' offense coming into that game, but Illinois, at least for their sake, just keeps doing enough here. So I think Nebraska could, I'll double-check their schedule here. I know they obviously got some of the big boys on their schedule, but they could still be a high-performing team, a good-win team. But that was one. If you've got any serious aspirations of being quote-unquote back, you got to beat Illinois at home there. Hey, forget about covering. You got to win that game there. So that one hurts there. But now for Nebraska, they've got to, I want to say 3 winnable games in a row. It should be winnable. But, they got Purdue, Rutgers, and Indiana. Rutgers and Indiana aren't any pushovers, so those are kind of the same category Illinois, where it's going to be tough. You should win those games. But it's obviously tough, and then you still got Ohio State and USC. So still could be a 9-3 football team by the end of the day, but when it's all said and done. But that was one they needed if you want to be like the kids say, is Nebraska back? And right now the answer is currently no.
And I compared it to BC, Michigan State. In no way, shape, or form should BC have been 7-point favorites. In none. But the difference is Bill O'Brien and the Eagles found a way to win that game, not cover that game, right. Win that game to get themselves to a possibility. They're hosting Western Kentucky, 11-point favorites, family weekend. This Saturday, I'll be live at Boston College at noon for kickoff at the Heights. Nebraska had a path to go 6 or 7-0, everyone thought. And I know it's usually year 3 of Matt Rule. I get that. But they were in such a great spot. Does it set them back? No, it doesn't set them back. But at least you could have really made a statement there. Maybe they go back to the drawing board. And listen, all-world Pat Mahomes, too. flashes, and the defense. We had the team total of Illinois under 16.5. I knew in the second quarter, I was like, oh, that one's done.
Yeah, no, it was surprising. It was surprising, and they obviously, like I said, they've got plenty of winnable games on their schedule. But to your point, I mean, if they had been able to enter that Ohio State game, whatever it is, 5-0, 6-0, and you don't even have to win that game. If you just give Ohio State a run for their money, then people are giving Nebraska a heck of a lot more respect. And again, like you said, is it over? No. They can still have a great season in building on the future and maybe be back in a year or two here. But I glossed over. I'm sure we'll bounce all over the. But yes, Packers solid win as underdogs going into Tennessee, a team that obviously had its mistakes first couple of weeks, but at least looked scrappy and no pushover team by any means there. But really happy with the game planning these last 2 weeks without Jordan Love on, especially both sides of the ball defensively against Will Levis. Yeah, they acknowledge that Will Levis will make some mistakes when under pressure, and they lit him on fire, for lack of a better term there. So very happy with that. Defensive coordinator in the past for the Packers. Obviously, the jury's still out for Jeff Hafley, but I just coming in with a different game plan and adjusting your game plan based on what you have. Tennessee, Packers' run game has been a little suspect through the first 2 weeks and didn't give the Titans many opportunities and kind of forced the Titans out of trying it. I still personally think they probably should have gave it a couple more cracks with Tony Pollard back there, the Titans, but obviously got away from that. So I looking at the line, Packers got the Vikings, who themselves obviously look very good so far to this point. Looked really good yesterday, obviously, against a good Texans team. Packers are favored as last I saw this morning. Want to see if I can find the accurate line. 2.5-point favorites in Lambeau right now. So would lead you to believe, I think, that the man is returning. I am going to come back and say, yes, I think he's returning. Is it a done deal that he's back? No, but it does seem like he is going to be coming back. And as good as Malik Willis has been, I'll take 80% of Jordan Love over Malik Willis because, again, game plans have been great, but, there's still only there's a limit to how much Malik Willis can do compared to Jordan Love. So expecting the man to come back, but still need final word on it here, obviously.
Vegas just gave you the final word.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't want. I'm just making sure I don't jump the gun here and eat my words in 4 days. But yes, the Packers being favorites, obviously, against the 3-0 Vikings team is a pretty good indicator that he is going to be back there. So. But other than that, Christian Watson still not explosive numbers, but looked solid and had a couple nice plays there. I don't know what his final stats were, but Jaden Reed had a nice couple plays there. So I think any fantasy owners of those guys, Romeo Dobbs still every once in a while, who knows. But I think Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, you can feel a little bit better the next few weeks with a little bit higher volume of targets, I would assume, for Jordan Love coming back to town.
Yeah, for fantasy purposes, again, it's kind of a potpourri. You got to wait till Love gets back, get a couple games into him. If during bye weeks, if you got a Watson, you got a Romeo, you got a Jaden Reed, a Wicks or whatever, and you need to play them, you can play them. They're warm bodies, they're serviceable, but just beware. You could get one catch for 8 yards, or you could be that lucky guy that week. 8 for 122 and 2. Right. How bad is fantasy? I'll tell you how bad fantasy is. I had a team, and this is called shit luck. Now, I've been doing this forever. I am managing in charge of 19 teams in the high-stakes league in the NFFC. And I had a team that scored, for round purposes, 200 points, 198 something. Okay? When I tell you my quarterback was Sam Darnold, only because Love is hurt. I have Godard as a starting tight end. I had Charbonnet in there because Walker was hurt. Oh, and by the way, I had Juwan Jennings, who I got off the waiver wire this week for $89, runner-up 77, in because Cooper Kupp was up. So the all stars and scrubs scored me almost 200 because of injuries and picking up or having the right backups or shit luck. And I got these star-studded lineups, all world, all NFL, all pro, that didn't even crack 100. So, and then I lose Devontae Smith concussed. Sam Laporta day to day. Might as well just say week to week now. Who's the other one? Someone got Snoop menaced in there. I mean, the list is just, and I know I'm not the only one. Everyone else is like that as well. But it's only week 3. It's only week 3. I mean,
I will say, just to continue that fantasy and the Packers, I talked about expecting Tucker Kraft Musgrave to be a split. It does not appear that to be the case. Tucker Kraft, I'm not saying to buy all the stock in the world on Tucker Kraft because, like you said, even when the Packers might put up 40 points in a given week, and Tucker Kraft just isn't the guy in that game plan that week. But as far as if he's available and you're desperate for tight end and it's looking like, oh man, he's only had a couple catches these last 2 weeks, give him a try if you're desperate for it because the volume is going to tick up with Jordan Love. Again, it might still only be, mid-level tight end numbers, but he's the guy going forward as long as he's healthy here. And Musgrave may be worth a play if Kraft is completely out, but Musgrave is not looking like the receiving threat that he was last year. And blocking-wise, he's getting his you-know-what kicked. It is a liability at times. So he might get usurped by their third tight end by the end of the day here. So Kraft, sell on Musgrave if you still have him and you're holding out hope. And Kraft, if you're desperate for a tight end, is definitely worth a look.
And it's kind of comical because I got Ingram to last week. We had him 2 spots dry because of the bye week 12. So we took the zeros, which I tried to tell my partner, hey, listen, I know the zero sucks. You got no options. You got no choice. Well, he only got 1.2 opening week. So this week on the waiver wire, I picked up Strange, the backup tight end, who had 9.5 points the week before. And so the guy wakes up on the morning and then he's waiting to call me. He's 2 hours behind. He goes, who the bleep is this Strange guy? He goes, no one on social media. He goes, I'm looking him up on Wikipedia. I can't find this guy. So we're rooting for Strange tonight in Jacksonville. I got some Brian Thomas shares as well. On the Cincinnati-Washington side, I do have some Jaden Daniels. Here's the one, if one guy could shine and just wake up, and they said they're going to start forcing him the ball. I went to 7-Eleven right down the road to get a half gallon of milk, and his face was right on the picture. Terry McLaurin, where the bleep you been?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it tonight. I mean, week 1 he was getting some targets, but it was kind of just desperation, overthrows, and really wasn't there. But I was high on him, kind of just hoping. I believe in him as just take away the quarterback. He's just a damn good receiver. So I was hoping that with a little bit steady quarterback play and a new quarterback here that he's stepping up. So I am waiting for that. I was high on him, had him on a couple teams that I put him in my starting lineup. Had some other options that are playing better than him right now, so I've benched him until further notice. I'm still holding out hope that they find some type of connection because a lot of times it's just developing a connection, but obviously it hasn't been there. As far as it's rookie to rookie, so a little bit different case. But like for example, Caleb Williams or Roma Dunze yesterday was much better. So maybe that's obviously Roma Dunze compared to whatever 6-year vet. McLaurin is a different story, but you know what I mean with rookie quarterbacks still working out. So I'm being optimistic that McLaurin could still figure something out. But, I mean, if he's posting another 2 catches, 3 catches for 30 yards or less, then obviously we're hitting the panic button for Terry McLaurin there tonight. So, even tight ends as a whole, though, Dallas Goedert obviously woke up. Cole Kmet woke up yesterday, and both were fantastic. But aside from a couple other, mid-level guys, Ferguson was good yesterday. But tight end position as a whole for fantasy has been pretty damn ugly so far this year.
Yeah, and I stayed away. I wasn't buying the in Kels we trust, and I got a lot of Mahomes. And my thought process, if I was drafting in the right spot, was to grab Mahomes and Rice. Well, they caught on to that one real quick, and they started moving Racey Rice up, and Jesus, that's his safety blanket. At this point, Kels is nowhere to be found. Everyone, listen, guys, and I'm going to say this every week till the Super Bowl here. I dealt with this for 2 decades and the Patriots and the Patriot fans, okay? The Patriots got every call. Tom got every call, okay? They made rules not to hit the quarterback because of Tom Brady, and it's just now extended. So now it all focuses on the Chiefs. And now, of course, they missed another call, therefore the Chiefs win again. There are so many calls leading up to that call, guys, okay? you go back to week one and the sneaker, the cleat, whatever you call it, week two, the PI, and now again, Atlanta had many opportunities to score and end that game, or at least give the ball back to Pat, okay? When you're good, you find a way to win. When you suck, or you've always sucked, you always find a way to lose. So Atlanta Falcon fans, you shouldn't be crying because you're used to this. And I didn't even have to say 28-3 to say it, okay? My point is, it was a great game. You got talent. And what really stuck out to me last night, Brady, was the defense, the speed of the defense. Judon played well. Cousins, I think the tape's out now. Whoever's the defensive coordinator against them, just bring the house. He can't move. He can't move.
No, and I mean, his weapons. Drake London looked decent last night. Darnell Mooney is kind of stepping up these last couple of weeks. That's interesting. But Kyle Pitts is the exact same player that we've seen over the last 2 years, where two catches, 59 yards, decent amount of yards there, but 2 catches. I mean, so far still not. All the people, myself kind of included in it. I was still, I wasn't bullish on it, but expecting a tick up in production with Kirk Cousins, still not there. So. They need someone to step up a little bit more on a week-to-week basis, and obviously Kirk needs to. Hopefully, he can move better. I mean, To be optimistic, maybe it just still is going to take another couple of weeks to get that full quickness back. But I'm with you. It's their defense is too good to for how much they invested in Kirk Cousins to. Obviously, it's been a tough schedule, but they obviously need to figure something out, and they easily could be 0-3. And get the graceful win against the Eagles there. So other than that, Rams obviously a big comeback win against the Niners. Niners kind of blow up both teams. A ton of injuries right now though. Dolphins quarterback situation obviously a total disaster at this point. They had brought in Tyler Huntley during the week, so not sure if they're trying to bring somebody else in at this point or not, or throw in the towel potentially is the other option there. I don't know if that's a little too soon there. And I know Bears fans, production-wise, they get the ball moving a little bit more, but still too many mistakes for Caleb Williams and company there. I know just being close, obviously, to Bears fans. In love with their defense. Defense is playing well, but it's still too many mistakes from the offense. So I think they're a little more optimistic, but another one of those teams that, you find ways to lose games. You get the Hail Mary at the end of the half that gets caught down to the 1 yard line. You get some great plays on defense and then turn it over real quick. And Anthony Richardson didn't look great again yesterday. So I'm curious to see what the Colts game plan is going forward, because Jonathan Taylor looks fantastic right now. He looks like the prime Jonathan Taylor right now. So I am very curious to see where they go, and then we can go back and forth on some of this stuff. But Browns and Deshaun Watson, obviously, again, I saw today, I think through 3 games, I think that was the stat. His EPA, estimated points added per dropback, is the lowest to start a season in Browns history over a certain amount. There's 24 quarterbacks on the list. And we all know the list of horrific quarterbacks that they've had, and he was at the bottom of it. So it's credit to the Giants. Don't want to take anything away from them. They botched the opening kickoff, give up a touchdown immediately, and then go 21-8 the rest of the game. So credit to them for stepping up. And Malik Neighbors looked fantastic yesterday. So credit to them. But obviously the Browns got some problems over there, my friend.
No, and spot on there. Malik Neighbors, the real deal. No, I'm not taking anything away from him. I just hope he tries to be Malik Neighbors and don't try to be OBJ. Just take it in stride. What they do with Daniel Jones moving forward, I have no idea. But just stay in your lane. You're doing a hell of a job, kid. Keep it up. The NFL, not for long. Any given Sunday. Again, take Bryce Young out. Add Andy Dalton. The red rifle guy goes into Vegas, box to wire. Looked like a whole new offense. They defeat the Raiders. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks have been amazing. Insert Bo Nix in Denver, and thanks for playing there. The list is endless, as you said. I know the Rams had no Puka, they had no Cup, yet everyone, 49ers 7-point favorites. Everyone overlooked at the fact. Well, let me see. No Kittle. no Debo, no CMC, and Trent Williams leaves halfway through the game. I mean, that was one of the teams I was fading not to make the playoffs. Everyone had that, and I know it was a huge number. Will they make the playoffs? Yeah, they probably will, but there was so many injuries going on. Brandon Ayuk, OMG, man. If you go to get your check tomorrow, you better wear a mask because that's what you're doing right now. You're stealing.
He should probably wear a Juwan Jennings mask because they might give that money to Juwan Jennings if he were to walk into the room right now. Because Juwan Jennings looked fantastic yesterday, and that division right now, they're obviously going to run it. They've had probably, I don't know the number off the top of my head, maybe the easiest 3-week schedule to this point. Seahawks 3-0, obviously got a great leg up on winning the division. Their schedule gets a lot harder here, and if the 49ers can win those games, then they'll be fine. Obviously, probably. But, I mean, give the Rams some health and they'll be fine. And Arizona, a tough schedule, 2 tough losses. They look like they're dangerous there. So, I'm with you. They're still obviously loaded with talent, but too many injuries could be the issue for the Niners all season long there. So you were all over that one, and obviously a long way to go. But 7-point favorites, I didn't say it at all, and I was believing in them to win, but that still seemed like a crazy number. And another one, I was giving out the Giants plus 6.5. So that was my big underdog pick that I liked there. I didn't say it all, so I'm not patting myself on the back. That Broncos-Bucks number and the Broncos in a bounce-back spot, Bucks in a regression spot. Again, I didn't say any of it, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but it scared me off of doing anything. I do a confidence pool, 1 to 16 confidence pool for mostly for fun, and I did have the Bucks just as almost default in that one. But that one, that one was triggering my radar a little bit going into that one. But Ravens, I was expecting the Ravens to show up with a little more motivated than the Cowboys were, and that's exactly what happened. And now Cowboys, we've seen it again. When their back's against the wall and they're down 20, they light it up. So I don't know what they have to do to tell themselves. Maybe they just need to tell themselves that they're down 20 to start the game, and they'll have some sense of urgency coming out of the game. But because their offense obviously looked good at the end of it, Ravens kind of taking their foot off the gas. But I think the Ravens will be fine. Derrick Henry looked fantastic. Ravens still got, they've got Bills and Bengals next too, so still very, very tough to get themselves out of the 1-2 now hole. But I do believe in the Ravens, and I think they'll be fine long term. Not quite as good as they were last year, maybe, but still believing in them. I think they're 2.5-point favorites right now at home against the Bills. Obviously, got to see if Bills make it out of tonight's game healthy. But anything else? We obviously talked about the Chiefs a little bit. Rams, Lions offense. Lions defense is looking solid. Lions offense still kind of not quite where you'd expect it to be. Sam Laporta either banged up or hasn't been as productive. They've got the Seahawks coming to town, and then Cowboys Vikings. So tough couple of 3 games there, 2 or 3 games there. But I don't know. Any thoughts on this Lions team now that we're 3 games into it?
Lions, America's team. I think they're still the team to beat. I think they're going to go through some growing pains. They got the 1-2 punch with Montgomery and Gibbs. St. Brown finally rounding into form again. I think they're going they took the pedal off of Jameson this week. Jameson will take the top off. I think their season goes as far as their defense takes them. Obviously, Laporta hadn't done much to start, but you still need him out there. It opens up so many, lanes for St. Brown and, of course, Jameson and Gibbs underneath. They're the team. But, again, that division, with Minnesota, listen, I got Darnold in one spot by fluke. I got him off the waiver wire. I played him the last 2 weeks. He's got Justin Jefferson. Addison's still banged up, but their defense is playing great. I was wrong.
I know. I didn't know what to expect from him. I didn't expect this, and Aaron Jones is looking fantastic. I always, if Aaron Jones is healthy, I expect him to be great. But obviously, the Packers didn't invest in him, after the last couple of years of some of the banged-up injuries he's had. But he's looked really, really good, obviously. But I've always respected Brian Flores as a defensive coach, and he's doing a damn good job so far. So, obviously going to get a closer first-hand look at for myself this upcoming week. So, hopefully, for my sake and the NFC North's sake, we can cool them off a little bit. But, credit to all of them, and obviously Sam Darnold himself. They're playing fantastic, and Sam Darnold's going to get a chance, whether it's auditioning for another job next year once J.J. McCarthy takes the job, or whatever the case may be. He's obviously playing for some type of job going into next year.
We will get to the board. It's a real short board tonight, and there's not a lot of stuff popping up. For fantasy purposes, all Ravens fans, whether it's Zay Flowers, whether it's Mark Andrews, whether it's Likely, whether even it's Lamar, I'd be a little worried in this regards, because I think Baltimore found the secret to success, and as the days get colder, those late November, December, early January games, Henry will be a big part. We saw it yesterday. But my point is, when you only throw the ball 15 times and you dominate a team on the road, and of course, must win 0-2, the sense of urgency was on the Ravens. And I said the same thing. Either the Ravens are going to leave 0-3 and the season's probably over, or they were going to leave Jerry's world and both teams would be 1-2, and that's what happened. No CeeDee Lamb, nowhere to be. I mean, I'm talking big CD. The only real Aubrey, line them up from 65. They should just go to a commercial. Just go to a commercial. It's going to be made, and then just come back. Save us 2 minutes there. Going to transition to college football for a few minutes. Sure. Everyone knows Georgia. Everyone knows Ohio State. Everyone knows Texas. Alabama having a great start to the year. They want to add Ole Miss into that. Okay. There's two teams. If you haven't bought stock, all right, we didn't get the greatest of number. But if you're adding to your portfolio, get them now. It's a 12-team race this year. It will help you if they win their first game and you get to the second round. First and foremost, the U. Miami. They got it back. Well, what's it? They got that swagger back. They are damn good on both sides of the ball. The only thing that scares me is when they're in a close game and then Cristobal's going to make a boneheaded coaching decision and then they're probably going to lose. But if they don't get into any close games, it's a wrap. I'm telling you, they're going to go undefeated this year. They're going to, I don't know who they're playing in the ACC championship game. Yeah. If they don't play any close games, trust me, they'll be undefeated. And the other statement, and we've been talking about this team for a little while now, the Tennessee Vols, it's not roll the ball out, first one to 15 wins. They go to Norman, Oklahoma, not an easy place to play. Just kick them right in the you-know-what, box to wire, and it wasn't 51-48, with the Sooner Schooner coming out every other possession. Their defense is real, and they got a quarterback named Nico who can legit play.
Yeah, you nailed it spot on. I mean, Tennessee was the obvious choice that I was going to add to that one. They looked fantastic again. Miami, toughest game on their schedule is at Louisville in a few weeks here, and assuming they go, like I'm with you, they go through this season undefeated. And the likely team that they play in the ACC championship is probably the winner between Louisville and Clemson when they play in the regular season there. So they might see Louisville twice this season and beat them, or Louisville loses to Clemson because Miami doesn't play Clemson. Not that I think Clemson could, really hang with them necessarily the way they're playing, but I'm with you 100%. And Tennessee. Man, oh man, are they looking good? I'm trying to pull up their schedule here. They've got a couple more weeks where they can get fat and happy for the most part here. At Arkansas, not to say any road game in the SEC is easy, but they obviously should roll that one. The way Florida's playing, that Florida's coming to Tennessee, they should roll that one. And then they've got Bama coming to town again mid-October there. That and the Georgia game in mid-November are they just got to win one of those at that point, and they'll be a playoff team. And even if they lose two of those and they're a two-loss team, the way they're playing and some of their scores that they're putting up might be enough. So they will probably be, they should be favored. I don't know if we have any look-ahead lines against Alabama at home. So got to take advantage of when they can get it there. So. What else? Like you said, some of these teams are just who they are. Obviously, wasn't too much groundbreaking stuff from this weekend other than what you're talking about there. Michigan, the other biggest win as far as getting their season back on track. I think, we don't necessarily have to talk about them as a championship contender by any means. They're not as good as any of the teams you just mentioned. Obviously, they get lambasted by Texas there. But obviously, going to a 2-loss hole would have basically put a stamp on their season. Now they've got a chance to, they've got Oregon and Ohio State on their schedule. So if they can get one of those games, then, they're a potential team to get back in that top 12 there. So if I'm being honest with you, I think they slip up somewhere else on their schedule. I think they potentially lose to both those teams. But I think there's a good chance that they just lose to one of these other random Big Ten teams that are on their schedule. They got to go to Washington. They got to go to Illinois. They got to go to Indiana. Between those 3 road games, I'll call that they lose at least one of those games there. So, but again, not to take anything away from what they did the other day. That was a huge win for them there. So, Utah, Oklahoma State was the other big one. Utah obviously gets that win. Again, I told you I was at a friend's bachelor party this weekend in St. Louis, so I didn't get a chance to watch too many of these games. Saw some nice highlights, had some fun watching the end of some games on Saturday night, but saw a chunk of some of these games here, and obviously was impressed by a couple of these teams here. And obviously, we don't have to talk about it too much because they're not a contender by any stretch of the means, and I think they might be an underdog in every single game the rest of the way, if maybe not one-time favored. Colorado's Hail Mary, my friend. Obviously, a team worth talking about for some people's standards, but 3-1 now. Going to be a chore to get to 6 wins. I will say that, looking at their schedule, obviously. But credit to them, a close line, and they get it done there.
No, and I was watching. They had a chance to get sacked, or there was a penalty or something, and they gave them one more opportunity. And no discredit to Sanders, no discredit to Hunter, Horn, and the rest of them. Primetime, congrats, great win. Again, I just can't. You talk about the drama. When we get the Super Bowl is over, right? And we get to the couple weeks of the combines and then the draft, and I'm only going here, or there, and then Travis Hunter, don't draft me if you're not going to let me play wide receiver. I can just see it now, and it's going to be interesting for sure. Yeah, a huge slate this week. I was talking to Jeffrey Benson at the Circa. They put out the line first. They had it a pick'em, Georgia, Alabama. This week it's at Alabama, Tuscaloosa, under the lights at, I think 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Got steamed right to 3, and I shot him a quick direct message. I was like, well, obviously you guys were rooting for Alabama here, opening that as a pick. He goes, we thought that was the right number, Jeff. And then I says, well, if it gets 3.5, you know where everyone's going. Well, it's down to 1.5. So probably my gut tells me Georgia -2 at kickoff there. So that's going to be a fun one. There's a bunch of other good games, but we'll have all week to go over that. I want to give a shout out to Luna, live in Japan, talking about he's got our waiting hub waiting for us at EastCoast_waiting hub live in Japan. So Luna, we'll hit you up at some point. I always wanted to be broadcasting live in Japan, and hey, tell them we're looking for a couple sponsors in Japan. Maybe we can get a Sony or something like that to get us going there. So 2 games in the NFL tonight: Jacksonville and Buffalo, Washington and Cincinnati. And I tell you what, I think it's a prime spot for Jacksonville. The problem is I think everyone else thinks that too. I'm seeing a 4.5 with a 46.5 there. Washington, Cincinnati, I can't wrap my head around this. It's a 46.5 with a 7.5. They're begging for Commander money.
Yeah.
They're begging for it. They know something. This probably is going to be a bad Jaden Daniels game. This is probably going to be a Burrow to Chase game. Buckle up. I don't have a good feel on any. The numbers are telling me nothing. 20.5 juiced under for the team total for Jacksonville. 26.5 over, -120 for Buffalo. Washington 19 over, and Cincinnati 27.5 juiced under. The numbers are telling me nothing, Riley. They're telling me nothing.
I know. I'm with you. I would say I'm with you as far as the clearest thing you can say is Washington and Cincinnati. They're begging for that money, and it almost feels like kind of the same situation. I hope this isn't comparing apples to oranges, but this past Thursday night, Jets and Patriots, I've seen it a million times. You get week 3 or 4, Aaron Rodgers not looking fantastic through the first couple of weeks, get a weaker division opponent coming through their home building and just lights the world or looks fantastic and lights that team on fire. kind of seems a little bit different case, obviously a non-conference opponent. But Monday night game, they get the wheels turning a little bit last week and lose. Kind of feels the same situation for Cincinnati, lighting the world and looking fantastic. So I feel better about that than I do that other one as you're talking about there. It should be a good spot for the Jaguars to bounce back. But if you're a person who's, over the moon on the Bills, you might be looking at a Bills-Bengals 2-leg parlay at minus 110, minus 115, and thinking that's free money. So I'm real torn on that one. I told you I'm in a confidence pool. I need Bills and Bengals to get first place for the week. So that's what I am. That's what I am rooting for. But then I plug that in. After I see that, I go and look at the odds on that parlay, and I'm a little concerned that it's as easy to get into that one as it is. But to your point, there are a lot of people that are looking for the Jaguars to bounce back, and now it's seen a 4.5 after being 5.5 for a lot of this week. So that one, I am throwing my hands up. I do feel good about Bengals. And that might not even be I think their team total for the Bengals is 27.5 if I'm not mistaken. So it might be a similar situation as what I talked about on Thursday, where they might look unbelievable, dominate the game and win 24-10, 24-7, something like that. So, and that's not to say I'm saying Bengals minus 7.5 or anything like that. But my point is, not necessarily an easy spot to get into it. I will, I guess, lean towards Bengals minus a 7.5, but even a dominant performance might be a 7-point win potentially there, depending on how this one goes. So I will lean towards Joe Burrow looking real good tonight. Jamar Chase, especially an extra day of preparation, getting himself back in shape. I would hope that he looks a lot better. I mean, they're still going to him a lot last week, obviously, but I would hope that he looks a lot better and looks more like the prime Jamar Chase that we know and come to expect there. Don't know if I want to even say the other guy's name that you are a huge fan of. I know there in town, being back in town potentially there, but curious to see what he looks like. I mean, he might be the same situation where it comes in out of shape. T. Higgins, I'm talking, of course. So. Or we might get an updated in a couple hours or so that he's deciding to stay home for this one here and find some street clothes tonight. But I like the Bengals tonight to have a good game. Just don't know what the best play out of this game is, if I'm being totally honest with you.
All right, so I'm going to shock the world here. I'm going to go in the Jacksonville-Buffalo game. I'm going Strange, first touchdown and anytime touchdown.
Strange. Anytime 275, first time 18-1.
Oh, that would be a strange feeling hitting that 18-1 right there. And then on the Buffalo side, where am I going with Buffalo here? Let's go. That's too easy. I'm not going there. I'll go Shakir, first touchdown and anytime.
You and I have these first time. I have a similar mind, my friend. 13-1 first time, 240 anytime. Dalton Kincaid would have been the other name that I would have mentioned for Buffalo there. At least value wise, 11-1, plus 195 for the anytime. Still looking for the appearance of Keon Coleman. I won't go there tonight, but he, for reference, is 15-1, 290 anytime. I'll go for the Jacksonville side. I'll go Brian Thomas, 18-1, 265 anytime. 18-1 first time, 265 anytime for Jacksonville.
And he's looked great. I got a few spots of him. I got an ETN share. Again, I got Strange filling in for Ingram. And I assume this is the chalk of all chalks. Do I get even money, plus money? I assume minus money. Anytime touchdown for Josh Allen?
Minus 135 anytime. 425 for the first time.
So that's your pizza and beer there. Anytime. If he gets the first one, well, you get the 4-1 there. On the other side, Cincinnati, Washington, the return to T. Washington, I'm going to shock the world here. Dimitri Brown.
Let's see. You're talking De'Ami Brown?
De'Ami Brown, excuse me.
De'Ami Brown. 30-1 first time, 5-1 plus 500 anytime.
And the Bengals side, McPherson over on field goals. I'll start there. Who can we go there? If T. Higgins, if you sent me 100 to score for him, I'd send you 200. Fuck him. Excuse me. Hell with him. I mean, Jamar Chase is definitely going to score tonight, so I'll just go Jamar Chase first and anytime.
Anytime is even money plus 100. First is 6-1. I'll go. Oh man, I'll go Jaden Daniels running the ball. First time 10-1. Anytime 145. And on the Bengals side of things, I don't know if I want to go. Yoshi is the new America's receiver. I think Yoshi Voss there, but I'll go. Man, I'm not going to him, but Terry McLaurin's odds are really reflecting what we're seeing of him. 245 anytime for Terry McLaurin, way down below a lot of these other names. So I'm not going there. I'll go Gesicki, though. I like what they're getting Gesicki involved. I'll go 12-1 Gesicki first time, 225 anytime.
No, I like where your eyes are there, definitely. MLB, I mean, I'm looking at some team totals. A shout out to the Tigers is they control their own destiny. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Don't read the clippings. Just get through this week. You'll be fine. The Royals are looking okay. My Red Sox, thanks for playing. Again, the Mets, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, a big 3 games starting on Tuesday. We had Terry Smith from Atlanta Steak and Seafood on. Go give him a shout and go order some steaks. I promise you'll love them. Again, I still lean the Mets. I just don't think that Atlanta wants in there. Rooting for the Padres, rooting for the D-backs there. Team totals tonight, the Cubs. If you like the Cubs today, 3.5 juiced over. It's 3.5 under minus 135. So if you like the Cubs tonight, get it over 3.5. You can get that plus 115 there. Someone must have liked our Jacksonville talk. Their team total is now moved to 20.5 there, so they just bumped it up 1.5 as we were talking, and they moved Buffalo down to 24.5 over or 25.5 over. So they liked our talk here about the Jacksonville, and probably a good spot there. Baseball is, we'll have to dig in tomorrow. Good game, Seattle and Houston. Miller versus Brown opened at 150, down to 125. Seattle on life support. Brown's been hit or miss. He had some good signs. If you like a dog in that, team total Seattle over 3.5. You got to lay 20 cents there. If you ask me which side, I would take a shot with Seattle tonight. That's my dog of the day.
Yeah. No, I think Seattle put up a nice fight. I think if Houston wins any of the 3 games, it's a wrap, I do believe, for the division at least. But Seattle, obviously, Houston would love to spoil Seattle's wild card chances. So I'm with you. I think Seattle's got some scrap in them. But, I think everyone's rooting for the Tigers to hold serve and come out of nowhere. And they did come out of nowhere, but stay coming out of nowhere and complete the coming out of nowhere, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. I was hoping to see a little more stakes in it, but I think by game time, I was in St. Louis for Cardinals and Cleveland Guardians, and I think by the second inning, I think the Guardians clinched the division, if I'm not mistaken. So I thought I was going to see something interesting, and maybe they had to win and get a little celebration, but they did lose, so it wasn't an entertaining game. So I had a fun time there. So I was hoping to see some more fireworks there. But, no, only 4 games in baseball. So we are winding down to it, obviously. And like you said, that Braves-Mets series is going to be massive there. This wild card race in the between the AL Central teams, essentially, and then throw in the Mariners 2 games back of it. But Tigers got to take care of business. They got my White Sox who are trying to win out so they can at least tie for the worst or most losses of all time. Instead of the solo leader. But I'm not holding my breath on that one, I guess is what I'll say there. But, I mean, Kansas City and Braves, the last 3 games of their 2 seasons could be whoever wins that series might be in the playoffs. Whoever loses that series might be out of the playoffs. So that one, while they're not obviously fighting with each other, could be what we're all watching in a few days here. So excited to see that and excited for some playoff baseball in a few weeks, my friend.
Yeah, we got 5 weeks till the kickoff, November 1st. Can you believe me? I'm saying that. Yeah, that's me. I'm saying November 1st, obviously, opening day, the kickoff for college hoops. So, Riley, you're going to start going through your schedules. We got you to a game last year, and we got to make sure we get you to a game this year.
Yeah, as far as Big Ten basketball, I would like to get to some more for sure. You got me to a Marquette game. That was awesome. And then I personally went to a Wisconsin game with the bride. So that was a great time. So need to get out to Northwestern or maybe an Illinois game. I haven't been to an Illinois game in ages. So and I'm somewhat of an Illinois fan. So maybe that's where I need to get to this year. But no, Big Ten basketball. Still got to give my love for the Big Ten football for a few more weeks before we can start geeking out over some Big Ten basketball. But well, the other news as far as so we're not totally off our rockers talking about college basketball. Someone told me the news for the Pac-12, Gonzaga going over to the Pac-12. That is big news as far as college basketball is concerned.
Yeah, they've been looking, they've been talking, they've been hinting. So God bless them. They need to kind of move. Mark Few has done just an amazing job. I mean, just of all the teams every year, you just pencil them in. They're going to be in, obviously the tournament, and they usually make it to the second weekend at least. They've been knocking on the door. He's one of the best, if not the best, of going overseas and finding these recruits. So we'll be interested to see with them moving to the Pac-12. It's going to be an amazing year. Again, I'm not putting the cart before the horse. I know we got so much stuff to talk about leading up to that. I'm just a junkie. It's a big year for UConn. Every year is a big year, but they got a chance to make history here with a three-peat. I saw some cuts with Danny Hurley at practice. He's a fruitcake. He's just you're either all in or you hate the guy. I mean, he's just badgering these guys at practice in the middle of September, and they're gonna be like, "What did I sign up for?" I mean, Jesus, coach. But I'm excited. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. As you kind of started it out with, if you're, on the mat like Anthony Joshua was for any, I'm not a big boxing fan, but saw the highlight there. If you're on the mat after the football weekend, like he was over the weekend, maybe take the night off, my friends. That is what I will say there, and live to fight another day. Breathe, or week again, or month again, for that matter, if it's that bad for you. So, no, I mean, having some fun with football. There is some UFC fights back this weekend, but no groundbreaking fights, but probably something we'll talk about later in the week, my friend. But other than that, just cruising along with some football. The big games in college football are going to start coming a little hotter and heavier as we get along here. As you mentioned, Alabama, Georgia. I think there maybe some pretty hefty favorites, but Penn State, Illinois, for the dream dark horse season of Illinois. That's a big one, obviously, but maybe get a better look of what Penn State could be this year. So excited for that one. And then I'm drawing a blank, but I think there's a decent Big 12 game. But other than that, just rocking and rolling, my friend, ready to get going with another week of action, and MLB playoffs coming up around the corner.
Yes, as you stated, UFC is back. Lou Finicaro will be back Thursday at 3 o'clock. Set your channels, turn on your notifications for that. Back in the Octagon. Wednesday, Brady Kannon, 11 a.m., 8 a.m. West Coast time. President's Cup this weekend. So we'll be talking live in Canada. We'll be talking some President's Cup there. He'll talk about the carnage in the Circa Survivor there. Tomorrow at... drawing a blank. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Andrew McGinnis at Wager Talk at McGinnis Picks will be on talking some hockey, which starts in less than 2 weeks. And we'll talk some NFL, some CFL with him. And then at 10:30, 10:35, Scotty Webb from Webby MLB will be here talking last week of MLB, talking playoffs, talking some... awards too. Paul Skeen's now the favorite again. He's gone from big favorite to plus 300. Someone said he was minus 140. So they said he was going to pitch again. I think he's going to end his season Thursday potentially in New York, in the Bronx. So they're doing everything in their power to get him that Rookie of the Year there. And Other than that, as Riley said, guys, the first 3 weeks in the NFL, it is what it is. That's what the NFL is. And if you had a rough couple weeks, ECSI VIP Saturday went 4-1 in college team totals. Last night we lose with the over 24 and a hook with Kansas City team total. Patrick Mahomes 3 times inside the 10 and kicks 3 field goals. So, I mean, you get one of those touchdowns, we get over there. So, honestly, I'll be sending an alert out real soon. There's not a lot on the bone here tonight, so it might be a night off. As Philly goes to 4.5 minus 110 on both sides. No other moves in the NFL. So, yeah, tough night tonight. Might be a night to just enjoy the crisp, cool air. Grab yourself a pumpkin spice latte and get ready for Tuesday. So, from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson1. We wish everyone a blessed day. It's a new week. It's a new beginning. Enjoy yourself. Have some fun. And see us tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll see you soon.